No, but for real though, welcome to Wine Talk with Tesh, guys. I'm super excited this month because we are drinking all sparkling wine all month long. And I mean, people always ask me what my favorite category of wine is or what my favorite wine is, and I never have like a legit answer because I get to taste. I'm very privileged, right? Being a business owner, I get to taste a lot of wine. But my answer is always I will never say no to sparkling wine. And I'm super excited to introduce you guys to this first wine because it kind of changed my opinion about Mexican wine in general. So I've tasted wines from Mexico over the years and really haven't had a great experience. And Drew, who's going to pop up on the stream here in just a second, he dropped off the sample for me and I popped it open and I tasted it and I was like, yo, this is really good. And then I had a second glass and it, of course it got better and better because, I got more and more faded. But no, genuinely, the wine was really good. And it really kind of opened up the door for me to be open to tasting more Mexican wine. And since then, I've tasted quite a few. And I must say, I am quite impressed that I feel like they definitely are taking their winemaking and their viticultural practices more seriously in the last couple of years than maybe what I was shown even 5 years ago. So for those of you guys who are here, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for getting the box. First and foremost, make sure that your wines are chilled. Start with the Terra Madi. I haven't even gotten there, Lisa. You're ahead of me. Start with the Terra Madi. Or however you want to pronounce it. I don't really care how you pronounce it. Just pop it open and drink it. How do you pronounce it, Drew?
Terra Madi.
Terra Madi. I'm Indian, right? So I'm like, oh, there you are. Now you're on the stream on this one too. So I'm Indian. So for me, it's like Terra Madi, which is why Ro was like, stop talking mad mess about my mom, because ma means mom. So anyways, pop open the Terra Madi. Be careful when you pour it. Make sure it's nice and chilled. Not be careful when you pour it. Be careful when you pop the cork off, because the atmospheric pressure inside of these sparkling wines is enough to give you a black eye. So make sure you keep your hands on top of the cage and unwind it, untwist it, and then slowly let that cork pop off. Just give the bottle a twist while you hold the cage in your hand, and then pour yourself a glass. I'm already ahead of you. I think I'm actually on the last wine because I just had birria tacos and sparkling wine, which was this shit. Those are my professional terms for it. It was a great pairing. I highly recommend it. Pour yourself a glass and we can get started. So, Drew, welcome back, homie.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. For everyone behind the scenes, you don't know this. I asked Drew last night, late last night. It was inappropriate. I was texting him. I was like, what you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got
It's
plans?
Okay. It's funny because I think like everybody right now, we're all just feeling like run down in this industry and we're all exhausted. And it caught up with me last night. So I actually fell asleep at a pretty embarrassing hour. So then when I woke up this morning, I had not a lot, but I had a fair amount of text messages, and I just was like, and the only one that got me excited was yours. And then I was like, well, can I text him back at, I think it was 7 a.m. And I was like, well, he texted me late and he's got kids. I'm gonna text him back.
Absolutely.
So I feel bad for the other person that was on that text message though. So I don't know who that was.
They'll be fine. They have kids too.
Okay.
It was Handsome Dave. It was Handsome Dave. It was Dave Siva.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, now I have your fucking number, Siva. You're in for it now, son. I love that guy.
I text now.
Yeah, I haven't. God, I haven't seen Dave in so long, and that's obviously kind of been the thing. I was actually in Napa today, so I'm very in the culture of wine right now, and I saw one of my accounts, and I walk in, he's like, I don't think I've seen you in over a year, and I was like, yeah, it's been weird. So it's been fun, but I'm happy to be back because I love the conversations that we have. And the last time we had a really good one about Georgian wine and then you've been on my podcast, which is the Good Bottle Podcast. Plug. And you were one of my favorite guests because we got to. It was a fun opportunity to get to know you a lot better, and then get some of your opinions on things. And then I just love what you've been doing with all your wine talks and really, I guess destigmatizing wine definitely for myself, but then for other people as well. I think I come from more of a spirits background, as you know, and for the people at home, like I mean, I can tell you about so many things in regards to mezcal and rum and stuff like that. But wine, it's really been a learning curve, a steep one for myself. So being able to bounce things off of you, which you know how often that you get text messages from me about wine questions, and you're always very responsive, which I appreciate.
Most definitely. But that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, and so I know that you do that for other people too. So I think these have been really fun. This is really cool. So in a very long-winded answer, yeah, man, thank you so much for. Thank you for talking up a Mexican wine, because we definitely get a lot of flack for some of it.
And to be fair, man, I mean, like, okay, so when I tasted them, my first experience with tasting them, I was at the kitchen. And it was probably like a good 5 years ago now. The wines that the dude poured for me, I was just kind of like, man, like they just leave something to be desired. Like they weren't really balanced. They were kind of out of whack. And I don't even remember. I'm not going to throw out the names of the brands or anything or who the person was, but they didn't really hit home for me. So my experience with Mexican wines was not necessarily a great one until you brought me this. And when I popped this open, I was like, dude, this is fucking good. I think I texted you. I was like, dude, this sparkling wine is fire. It's above and beyond. So thank you for being the liaison for not just for me, but for everyone who bought a Tesh box this month, because I think that I know I've said this before. You guys know this. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for really good reps out there who do what they do. So real quick, I did not get to make birria tacos because I have children and my life is like fast paced. So I ended up buying birria tacos, and that shit was good. It was, I don't know if it's just that birria tacos are really good and I just love them. But the sparkling wine did work incredibly well with it. Embarrassing, Ralph, that is embarrassing. Who the fuck goes to bed at 6:30? You're not a child. Come on, Marianne.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that early. Because
I think I texted you like 8:39 or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I gotta. I mean,
6:30 would be pretty fucking early.
Yeah, my 3-year-old stays up later than that. So
right, exactly. My kids don't go to bed until 7:30, man. Come on.
Oh man, that's like vacation. If my daughter goes to bed at 7:30, it's like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So
yeah, it's a battle every night, right? Like I'm sure it's a battle in your house too. You know?
Yeah, and you were like, we should battle too. That's what we should do. That was the decision that you and your wife made. You were like,
no, it wasn't
this is easy.
That we made. No, we did not. No, number 2 was a surprise for those of you out there who did not know. We were not planning on number 2, and I was straight up in denial for like a month. Like Danielle was like, "I'm pregnant," and I was like, "Nah, you're just bloated. You're fine." She's like, "No, I really think I'm pregnant." I was like, "Nah, girl, you're good. Just drink some water. You'll be okay." And then finally, like after a month, she was like, "Are we gonna talk about the fact that we're having this kid, or are you just gonna keep fucking denying it?" And I was like, I guess we're gonna talk about it now. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, no, that was why I got the snip, man. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. Diana says, so delicious. My dad is from Queretaro. That's amazing. I'm glad that you're enjoying. I may have exaggerated a little, but not much. Two buzzed girls here waiting on a taco delivery. That's the move. Okay, so Drew, once again, thanks again for being on here. So tell us a little bit about Terra Madi and the brand, and like give us a little like quick history on the winery itself.
So I'm tremendously unprepared for this because of the late notice and having a full day.
That's my fault. That's not your fault.
of full stuff, but it is kind of a cool stuff, and there's this rich history. So I know the other one that you're doing is a Spanish wine, right?
Yep.
And I know the people who started this winery actually have a sister winery in Spain as well, and so they came over and they found Queretaro here, and let's see, Diana's telling us how to say it right. Teach you how to say Queretaro. Queretaro.
No, stop it. That was the whitest shit I've ever heard.
Queretaro. I mean, it's been a long day. I took the long route back from Napa too, and it took a lot out of me. But
I'm sorry.
But Queretaro is great.
Thank you for making time. I appreciate it.
It's they are doing some really cool stuff. I was fortunate enough to meet the winemaker about a year and a half ago. It was obviously before the shutdown, and you know, there's a lot of different stuff that goes into it. But they have a very interesting microclimate there, and it really challenges them to stay on top of the grape production and just their process in general. And I know one of the things is tapate, which I don't know if that exists in other regions. Because again, like my wine knowledge is just not where it needs to be, but it's a calcium carbonate layer that exists within about a meter down from the rootstocks, and so that also is something that, you know, there's not a whole lot of water that's going to exist in that, and so it really causes those grapes to struggle like even more, which I know is kind of a thing that people want. But between that and the weather, which they refer to their production method as extreme winemaking, which I think is absolutely hilarious, because I don't know about you, but
X Games of winemaking.
Dude, thank you so much for saying that, because that's exactly where my mind as a 33-year-old like immediately goes to, because we're definitely the X Games generation. Like, we grew up with that, and so anytime I see extreme, I'm just like thinking of like this like vintner just like doing an ollie down the slopes of his
Tony Hawk doing a 720 right in the vineyard.
Yeah, man, and it's so funny, and you know, so they do produce like quite a bit of wine. They're sending it all over the world, and but one of the things that it seems, you know, just that they have like a Malbec, they have a cab that is pretty delicious as well, but they really take a lot of pride in their sparklings, and they make some really, really good stuff. So this one itself is made out of two different types of varietals, which is Macabeu and Xarel-lo, which that might be Xarel-lo. I'm not 100% sure. It's Xar. There you go.
Xarel-lo and Macabeu, yeah.
So that's what it's made, and then it's aged anywhere from 18 to 24 months in the cellar, and then from there, you know, you start to see it out and about. And this one, they actually did give the pairing note that you should put it with Ensenada style fish tacos, sushi, tapas, or soft cheese. So it's really refreshing. It's I know that one of the places that I have it at here in Sacramento is Cantina Alley. So if you guys have ever been to Cantina,
that's a great placement, by the way. This wine definitely belongs there.
And so, you know, big thanks to Oscar out there, who's the guy that brought it in. But they do killer fish tacos. So this is a really, really great pairing with their fish tacos out there. And so, yeah, I wish I could do like the same kind of nerdy deep dive that we did with the Georgian stuff. But you know, that in terms of the Mexican wines, I don't think that you're too far off base. I think there's a lot of people who have experienced a lot of subpar stuff over the years.
Most definitely.
And I know for myself, because we do have more than just this within our portfolio. And one of the things that we get a lot of feedback on is, you know, for the most part, you have a lot of people who are sourcing grapes and things like that, and then throwing their brand names on, or just having some people make something for them and then bottle it themselves. And there's like this, it just, I guess in the past, I just feel like there was this disconnect between people enjoying the wines and the people producing them and stuff like that. And then the price points were also a little aggressive at times for people. And when we were approached by Back Alley Imports, who we do a lot of work with, and they're like, "Hey, we have this really, really dope wine. It's called Terra Madi, and it's going to be at an incredible price point." Which for us, I mean, it's almost half as like our other most affordable Mexican wine.
Yeah,
and I can tell you that these ones play so much better, and I know for myself that part of that journey as well has been getting more into sparkling wines and champagnes, because my whole experience with sparkling coming into last year was just, I was not a fan. And I know it bothered you, and I know that it bothered our other buddy Chris Sinclair, because that was the stance that I decided to take. And but that's what happens when you're drinking $5 bottles of wine, right? Like it's hard to judge an entire category off of the $5 section. So it's been really fun to kind of
that category is really broad too, Drew. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's some winners in that category. There are, but like it's such a broad category that it's hard to find like winners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it definitely seemed like for a moment there that the only ones that I was liking was these $100 champagnes and sparklings.
Right. Well, don't we all?
And I was just yeah, right. And I was just like, I was like, oh no, I'm trying not to be this bougie, but it's not going well for me.
It's hard.
It is hard. And so when we got introduced to this one and a few of the other ones that I've gotten to try and taste, I mean, it's just like, I don't know, you don't have all this residual sugar that I've gotten on a lot of the other stuff. Like it's just, it's crisp. I mean, it's definitely, it's dry. I don't know. It has these layers of comfort. I mean, and again, if we get to sit here and upset the narrative of wine from Mexico, through a bottle that, I mean, what do you have it listed for on your website right now?
21.
I mean, come on. Like, it's just, it's super great. The biggest bummer, and I think that the reason that we don't see this at a lot of places just yet is we launched this March 12th, 2020.
Right.
So
right. It's terrible.
For those keeping track at home, everything shut down like the 17th. So we had it was just such a bummer, because we were really, really excited about it. I know Back Alley was really excited about it. Right. And we just got to it was just the worst timing. So doing something like this and getting it back out there and kind of getting all of us re-interested in it is going to be really fun, because this is good stuff. And again, like getting into the summer and hotter months and all that fun stuff, like this will be a really refreshing sparkling choice that's not gonna break the bank for you either, which is really cool.
For sure. For those of you who are curious about the name itself, right? So Terra is the Catalan word for earth, and Madi is the Atomi word for love. So the whole idea is to be representative of like the loved earth, right? They also did the label itself is pretty cool. I like that the use of the hummingbird, which is a popular cultural icon over there. So yeah, what I taste on this wine are things like brioche, pear, like a hint of apple, super easy drinking sparkling wine. What are you guys tasting? I'm curious how many of you guys at home made tacos. So let me know in the chat, how many of you guys at home made tacos of any form? Because I'm curious, because I had birria tacos for dinner with both of these sparkling wines tonight, and I thought that it was just insanely good. And I think that sparkling wine is one of those categories that we often overlook when we're like, what should I have with dinner? And sparkling wine is a great answer. Specific wines I think go better with certain foods than other ones do. So I'm curious, how many of you guys made tacos, and what are you guys tasting when you taste this sparkling wine? I'll give you a minute. I'll wait. I want to know. Hit us up in the chats, because I want to know. Chats is drunken Tesh for chat. Hit us up in the chat.
Well,
Uh,
let me ask you this, Tesh.
mhm.
So I'm still working on getting you some champagne stoppers for this thing,
Yeah.
and we might have them coming this week. So when you pop a bottle of sparkling champagne or anything of this kind of caliber,
Uh-huh.
what what's the time period that you can continue to drink that? I mean, from the time that you open it, I mean, and if you have one of those, like, and if you guys haven't seen a sparkling wine topper, like, they are heavy duty, and if you don't get a good one, it's just no bueno.
Yeah.
But what's the time frame? Like, from when I open it, like, how many days can I continue to drink that?
Man, you got a couple of days, really, right? But a champagne stopper will certainly help with that. I would say like 3 days tops from the time
Okay.
that you put the champagne stopper back on. So everyone already got at least one champagne stopper. I had to, because I didn't get the ones from you quite yet, Drew. Uh, I had to like pick and no, you're good, man. I appreciate everything you do for me, and I know sometimes I ask for a lot, so I appreciate everything you do. So don't take it that way. But because I had to like kind of like pick and choose, like I gave more than one. So like between what I had, so everyone has at least one though. So two things about the champagne stopper, right? Uh, be careful when you pop it off the next day, because if you take when you take off that primary clip, it is still pressurized in the bottle, and it can pop off. Nora, you should have gotten a champagne stopper, and if you didn't, it's probably because I had the thought that you might have been okay finishing these wines.
It was
um,
confidence. It was confidence in you, Nora.
I
Don't take
had
it
faith
personal.
in you. Yeah, I had faith in you, Nora. Um, so yeah, I would say, man, like 3 days. Like if I'm at home and I pop a bottle of sparkling and I don't finish it and I put the champagne stopper back on it, uh, 3 days tops. Don't wait any longer. Really, the next day, if you can finish it the next day, finish it the next day, because that's when it's going to be really fresh and the bubbles are still going to be nice and crisp for you.
Okay. All right. Now,
And
follow up
even and
question.
even then, I wouldn't say that like the bubbles are gonna be super crisp like you just popped it. There will be noticeable that like this was opened yesterday.
Yeah.
And but the
Yeah.
champagne stopper is going to help. So
Okay.
what's your follow-up question?
So now, follow up question is, if if you get a couple of these bottles and you're enjoying yourself with a group of people, you're eating tacos, ceviche, all the fun stuff you get into summer. If someone refers to it as champagne, are you letting it slide?
I let it slide. I made it a point. Okay, hang on, time out. I do let it slide. But when I dropped off all these boxes and people were like, "Oh, I'm so excited for champagne," I did make it a point to let them know, because I wanted to set the expectation in their mind that we're not
Yeah.
drinking champagne this month. We're drinking sparkling wine from all over the world. So champagne does have to come from Champagne, France. And yes, it is kind of bougie to be like, "Oh, this isn't champagne." You know what I mean? It really is. Um, I had an employee who would just like totally call people out at the kitchen, and they would be like, "Oh, I'll take a glass of champagne," and they'd be like, "Actually, it's not champagne. It's sparkling wine from the Napa Valley." And it's like, bro, you don't need to do that. Just fucking pour them the glass of bubbly and let them move on with their life. You know what I mean?
I think it's funny because, like, the way that you say that, and like the inflection in your voice and the way that you kind of curl your lip, it's
Right.
like it doesn't matter how that message is conveyed to you. That's exactly how you look and sound. So
That's how you sound. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you sound like an a-hole, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, obviously, there's something like it. I think you're right. You try to set the expectation and stuff like that, but really, it's kind of time and place. And you know, I deal a lot of that with like spirits and whatnot, because I mean, and especially Mexico. Like, Mexico has the most designations of origins than any other country in the world.
Right.
So it's like they do take it very seriously. They're like, no, you can't call that cheese that, like they are those type of people.
For sure.
But so I mean, you do see it now. Now I saw something the other day, and I think that we've talked about this before, but there is a California champagne that exists because of yes, because of a loophole that they were able to exploit in the designation of origin, or the AOC. Do you want to talk about that? I just think it's really interesting, and it might be something fun for people to hear about it at home.
So basically, it boils down to this, right? There was it's Corbel is one of them, and they were basically indoctrinated into it because they had been using the term champagne for so long that they were the exception to the rule when it became a rule that you can't call California sparkling wine champagne. So there's a couple of other ones that are in that group that, and they're few and far between, but Corbel is definitely one of the main ones where like you will see it is actually still labeled champagne. So yeah. So I mean, and that's one of those things where like, I mean, personally, like for me, I know I drink a lot of wine. Also, the price point should kind of tell you, right? Like you're not getting I'm not trying to say like shop price point, but I am trying to say, right? You're probably not drinking champagne that's been imported from France for $5 a bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's another story that I've heard about the champagne thing, where when France instilled the requirements for it, and we're kind of like in a way to stifle anybody who maybe have had that grandfather clause into it, like they were calling it before it was established. One of the things that they did was they made it a year requirement where you had to have a consistent champagne year after year, and they positioned it right in the middle of American Prohibition, thinking that would upset all of the attempts by Americans to do it.
Right.
And in California wasn't hit nearly as bad as some of like the East Coast and Midwest when it came to Prohibition. So there was still a lot of production that was going on out here. And basically what was happening is some of these companies that can still call it California champagne is they were producing vintages, but they weren't releasing it to the public. So it was all for their self-consumption and things like that. So they were able to go back and be like, oh, you asked for something from 20 to 31? Here you go. Here's all the vintages. And that was like their little hack to beat that, which I think that was a time when I think you could take a little bit more pride in American ingenuity. Now we're just warmongers. So,
For sure. James, I want to know how your tacos turned out. And then I think Diana said, for some reason, I'm unable to look at the previous messages because I can't scroll down for some reason in the chat.
So Alicia asked you a question, and it was, what is the maximum amount of days to have this bottle open in the fridge with the stopper, asking for a friend?
Girl, drink it within 2 to 3 days. Like, also, you're my cousin. You're an alcoholic by nature. You know what I mean? Like, I have faith in you. You'll be fine.
It's in your blood.
It is. It really is, man. I hate saying stuff like that, but like, dude, at a certain point, genetics does take a place. And if somebody said, I think Diana said she made like grilled chicken tacos. That shit sounded bomb. Heather, no comment on your comment. I ain't gonna say that shit. Diana also said she likes to say bubbles. You're totally right about the sparkling for pairing with dinner. It gets that soda craving for sure. The sparkling wine is very light compared to a soda or a beer with the tacos. The thing about like soda for me, and I do like soda, right? Clearly, if you've hung out with me, you can tell from my physique that I occasionally throw down sodas. I'm trying, damn it. I'm trying not to, but I don't like that sticky feeling it gives you on your teeth. It like that grimy kind of like, you know what I mean? That sugar just gets stuck on your teeth, and I don't like that feeling. But what I do like about sparkling wine is it's very palate cleansing, and especially with this particular one, I do think that, like, you know, when you take a bite of like spicy taco, like birria, like I had tonight, when you take a sip of the sparkling wine, it really just kind of freshens up your palate to be able to, you know, allow you to enjoy your next bite. So yeah.
So one of the things that before you asked me to join this tonight,
Yeah.
which okay, I got to sidebar this really quick. I was
Yeah,
gonna
sidebar.
ask you if I could join you on this earlier this week, and then I
Oh,
didn't.
nice.
But I'm very much so into manifesting things into existence right now. So this is just another example of it was in my head. I said it out loud. I didn't ask you, but then you ended up asking me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so going back to earlier this week, and you had mentioned that you were going to do the birria tacos, and I was like, I can't wait to see you try to pull this off. And I don't know why. It might be like what appears to be the recent explosion of its popularity, right?
Right.
But they seem like one of those things that you're not supposed to make at home. Like you're supposed to get that at a restaurant. Like I remember the first time I saw someone doing like oysters at home, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like this is not allowed. Do you have permits for this? And I feel the same way about these tacos. Like you need a big flat iron grill to do it proper, at least in my skewed view of reality. And there might be someone who's watching kind of being like, what a moron, which I'm not going to rule out at all. But it's just, it seems like one of those things that like when you said you were going to do it, I was like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going to order mine from. I'm definitely not going to try to make these.
Yeah, man. I saw this. Okay, so full disclosure, man, it was a TikTok video, right? And TikTok kind of has me fucked up right now. And I watched this like video, and I follow this lady. She's an older Hispanic lady. And I was like, dude, she was like, today we're going to make birria tacos. And she just fucking had me sold that like I could fucking pull this off myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way my day unraveled, it was like, nah, man, I ain't doing shit. Like, I'm not. So I did. I ended up driving up the street to a little spot that I know has birria on the regular. And I got my birria tacos that way.
That's so funny. You're not
thinking that. You are right.
You're not the only person who has fallen victim in my life to TikTok recently, and
we've talked about
it's so bad. Like everybody is like so into this, and then they tell me they're like you need to get on TikTok, and I just was like, you just told me how addicted and unhealthy it is for you, and now you're like you're like get on there, like
don't do it,
like,
everybody. I don't want. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, I got a problem. I'm saying fucking learn from watching me. Don't get on TikTok and watch dumbass videos till 2 a.m. It ain't doing nothing for your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like the ones that are really that special get sent to me anyways. And
100%.
You know, and then also like do you know Russell Martin at Snug?
That sounds familiar. I feel like I tried to sell more.
So he's their bar manager, and he shares all of the good TikToks on his Instagram story. So like I feel like I always caught, you know. So like if you need to like cut the cord but still get like your fix, he might be the person to follow. Yeah. So that way you're not searching them out.
I feel that.
It's ridiculous.
Tori, you were right. The recipe should have scared the hell out of you because that recipe was fucking intense. And the one that I sent you a second email that didn't have the video in it. And it was like the half recipe by me. And even that, like, even when I was typing it out, I was like, this is fucking intense. Like, that just, yeah. It was, whatever you made, I'm sure it turned out delicious. But I know that you didn't make birria, and that's okay. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. Nick's taco is fucking bomb.
I love how you can bounce back and forth between like both screens. So for like people at home, like I have like the computer screen here, which is why I'm not always looking at the camera.
Right.
And so like I see one chat thread, and then I looked over here and I was like, oh, there's like hella comments on the Instagram, but I didn't see them. So this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff going on right now. Like you're just
stuff, dude, man. You got to give the people what they want, though, Drew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I like the thing that you're using or that Jordan set up for you, because I bet it wasn't your idea. That it puts it to Facebook and to YouTube, and so it's like it's getting you all these comments. Sorry, what's that mean?
My idea. You just feel like, no, that wasn't your idea.
He's good at this stuff. He can't hear it, or we can't talk to him right now, which is a bummer.
He's really good at this stuff. No,
he's really good at this stuff. He's laughing. He's laughing. He put it in the chat.
He's incredible at this stuff, man. He's definitely. I mean, you know, I try and take care of him, man, because I want him to know how much I appreciate him. Because it's a lot of work, bro.
It is a lot of work, and you know, and it's funny that you say that, because like I had mentioned earlier, is you know, Chris and I have our podcast, and it's funny because like once you do a podcast and like you kind of do it consistently, so we've been going for, you know, almost 2 years now, and like people start to ask you like, well, how do you do it and stuff like that. Like we're 2 years in and we still have no fucking idea. Like there's just things that we occasionally pull off, and then we do have people in our lives like Jordan who could probably make us infinitely better. But it's like me and Chris have talked about this. It's like he's so good at what he does that we wouldn't want to, I guess, insult him to kind of be like, can you help us for like $20? Like that doesn't. It would be such a dick thing to do to like this guy who like has been putting out content longer than anybody I know. Like he's been doing stuff forever, like going back to his beer reviews and stuff like that. And it's like I can't just, they're like, hey, you know that thing that you're really good at? Do it for free for me. Like, come on, like, you know. Right. So I appreciate the fact that you take care of him. It means a lot, right? Like you're taking time.
It was one of those things, man, where like, you know, I asked him, right, because he was doing it for free for several months, and I appreciate the hell out of him for that, because I was like trying to like go out of my way to like get him wine and and I was like, bro, can you just tell me like how much you would charge somebody? And then he told me how much he would charge like a regular client, and I was like, I can't afford that. Like I'm a new it's like I'm a new business. I don't even make that much money. Like I can't afford that. I was like, but I can do something for you, you know what I mean? And like we hit like the 3-month mark, and I told him to like raise his price a little bit for me, because as the business grows, I want him to grow with it. I want him to be a part of this forever.
Well, you want. I mean, you know, not completely at his rates, but like the rates within the rates.
For sure, yeah.
So I want his business to grow at my rate.
The rates within the rates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's how much you're charging. Great. How much are you going to charge me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's the man, dude, and I appreciate everything he does. And I try to make sure that he feels like he's taken care of too, because he's a part of my journey. You know what I mean? If you would have asked me 6 months ago if I'd be selling a couple cases every month consistently, I would have been like, I don't know, you know. Yeah. But here we are, and it's working, and people are buying in, and they're enjoying the wines. Somebody said Nick's Taco. Diana said Nick's Taco, and yes. I love Nick's Taco. But I will say this. Okay, so when I have birria tacos, I want the fucking soup. Like, I want to dip that shit. I want it to dribble down my... Never mind. That was a really bad way to say it. I want it to dribble down my chin. You know what I mean? I want to be messy with birria tacos, because I feel like that's what it is, right? I said it. Drew, don't fucking laugh, man.
Well, are you insinuating that someone doesn't give you the liquid with it? Is that what you're about to say?
So when you order birria tacos, right? Or sorry, when you order queso birria tacos, you don't always get the soup.
From where?
So Nick's Taco is a good example. Like when you, and like even today, right? Like I ordered from this other spot that I got so I got birria tacos. I got the soup. Great. I ordered queso birria tacos from for my cousin, and her order didn't come with the soup. So I think they're just like, you got birria and you got cheese, you're good. And I'm like, bro, you got to get the soup.
I think if that happened to me in that situation, because I haven't had it happen, and it's good, because if it did, I would burn that place to the ground.
Right.
Because it's just that's a non-starter for me. You don't get to tell me that you're giving me these tacos without that, because I was introduced to them at Maya's restaurant in Sacramento, and Danny, who runs that place, it was so funny. He was down in LA. He saw him for the first time, and the girl that he was with at the time, they're at this little Mexican spot, and she's like, oh, I want to, those are so good. Like, we should go back down there and get them and stuff like that. And he's a chef as well. And he was just like, F that. I can totally make those. And he just just looking at it one time was able to recreate it. And then since then, now that he's got obviously a lot more reps at it, he makes some of the best in Sacramento as far as I'm concerned. And you get the bowl with it. It's not even a cup.
I love
it's
that.
Just kind of like,
yeah, when you can go to a spot and you order birria de sopa, right? Or and you get the fucking bowl and they just give you a stack of tortillas. That's shit, bro. That's why I can't lose weight, because I fucking go to places like that and I'm like, oh, I can't eat 2 of these. I gotta eat the whole fucking stack of tortillas.
Yeah, man, it's so unfair. I based a lot of my business around what places I like to eat at. So if your food is whack, I probably don't want to. Yeah, I don't. That's just how it's if you're a difficult customer and your food is whack, we're not working together. That's just how I go about it.
Fuck that.
No, man, it's just kind of there's no reason for me to be here at all. It's but fortunately I work with a lot of great places that have great food. I mean, unfortunately, it's done significant damage to my physique. And then when I do my anytime I'm trying to be quote unquote healthier, and I'm on my programs, which I know work for me, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to see this place for a month, because if I go in there,
you've done great, by the way, for the record. I'm not trying to be weird or anything with you in front of everybody, but you've done incredibly well, man. You've lost a lot of weight. You look good.
Thanks,
look healthy.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
People don't tell me I look good and I look healthy. People say you're dressed nice. People say, man, I like your hair.
Your hair does look really good right now.
Oh, thanks.
It's very put together. So it's I think in our industry, it's so tough to stay in shape, right? Because it's we are surrounded by good food, and booze doesn't do you any favors. And then, then we get all tuned up together, and you're like, ugh, now we're drunk and now we're going to go eat everything and stuff like that. So it is tough, but I think at the same time, we both of us have small children that we want to hang out with for a lot longer. So you
have to make efforts, right? You have to try.
Yeah. I think totally it's what for myself, it's well, what do I make the big sacrifice of? It's do I stop with the breads and all the crappy food, or do I stop with the booze? And that was an easy one. I was I'm not going to stop drinking. That's just not,
right.
I can't do it. Not only because I have an addictive personality and maybe some issues, but also because it is my job,
Right. No, for real, man. It's when people, when you get into sales and your bosses are oh, I didn't tell you to go drink at every spot. You're motherfucker, what you expect me to do? You know what I mean?
It's hard to build that relationship over a glass of water.
It really is. It really is, man. You can't bond over any. You have to make the extra effort to bond over something when you can't be when your opening line can't be, "Damn, this drink is good. What'd you put in it?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'm doing too many personal questions for you. All of your fans are what is going on right now? No, you guys, I host a podcast. I do interviews. I can't help myself.
I like it. This is good. Tori said a while ago, and I missed this. She said 4 of us, no leftovers here. Ashley and Johnny are washing. They're not washing. They're watching. I've been drinking. I went to a spirits tasting earlier. Don't judge me. She said the bubbly was a touch overwhelmed by the pineapple and the El Pastor tacos. Still really solid though, for sure. I feel that pineapple's got a really strong flavor, especially if you had fresh pineapples in tacos. Rose said, "You two are hilarious." Shit, boo. You know how we do. What else? I like the first bubble better than the second. Is that a weird thing to say? I like
Did
the
not.
first. You know,
So
it's Bo, man. I can call him Boo. You know what I mean?
the Spanish is the second one, right?
Yeah. So they like yours better.
Victory! We did it!
Fatality.
Yeah, that was flawless, baby.
Flawless victory.
Suck it, Spanish wine. Mexico's in the house.
I like the first bubbles better than the second. Not that the second is bad, but all right. Hashtag 2BuzzGirls. Have we opened the second bottle yet? If you haven't, Anna, you're fucking up. I mean, open it. Ralphie just said the Madi blanketed his mouth.
Yep.
Put it in your
Checks
mouth.
out.
Your motherfucking mouth. The Castellroig just hit him harder. Oh my. All right. Well, let me talk about I'm going to jump into the Castellroig and I'll talk about that a little bit. Drew, if you want to stay on, you can. If you want to bounce and go be with your daughter for bedtime, I totally understand, bro.
Dude, you're not going to bed for like another 3 hours, bro. So
all right, cool.
I'm just trying to get my wife to bring me some wine right now, and thus far it hasn't worked. So
you fucking text her, you're like, can you bring me a glass, please?
I did, because it's like I'm in her office, which is amazing, but it doesn't have a wine fridge in it. So I did hear something today, and I wanted to, and as I was driving around Napa, and I wanted to go this past you because we were just talking about fitness, and it was, did you know that when you open a bottle of wine, you're actually engaging 14 different muscles? So really, you're working out when you're opening wine. So
all the time.
So that's for everybody. So now, when you're opening wine, it's part of your fitness.
You're welcome, world. From Drew.
Fitness by Drew.
All right, Tori said, hey, 2BuzzGirls, we like the second even better. Hashtag 4 Marin Drunks. I like this fucking group competition that we got going on. We got hashtag 2BuzzGirls and hashtag 4 Marin Drunks. And then Lisa said, we like number 2 better too. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm going to tell you guys, I know that very, very often we taste these wines side by side. And sometimes I present them in a way where it's like, which one do you like more? Which one do you like better? Blah, 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 right? But I do want you to remember that, like, these are from entirely different parts of the world, right? And they hit differently. So my question isn't which one do you like more? My question is, did you like the first one? Did you like the second one? And then what did you like about each one? Because I think that they both have a place in all of our lives because I love them and I want to put them in front of you. But the question is, what did you like about each one? And what did one hit differently that the other didn't quite hit for you? Or how did one hit more than the other one? And so on and so forth. So Anna said to you, Tori, you guys are on both different platforms. With Tori, Anna said, hey, hashtag 4 Marin Drunks. We should hang out, XOXO. And that's the last of the information that I'm going to, y'all motherfuckers can text each other. This is 2021. Send her a DM. Slide into her DMs, Anna. Nora said, I love the first one, mouth blanket. There you go. I like that. All right, let me talk about Castellroig real quick before we get more distracted and more faded than I already am, because I've had a great, long, busy, fun day. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about this. I want to talk about the fact that the bottle doesn't say, we're in Spain, but the bottle doesn't say cava, okay? So a lot of times I think that people get a Spanish sparkling wine and they automatically think it's going to be cava. Well, several years ago, some producers in the Penedes region of Spain, in the northeastern region of Spain, got together and they were like, hey, we want to have a designation for our wines that's a little bit more elevated than just the Cava Dio. And they went to the European Union and they were like, we need a designation that's a little bit elevated. You know, can we get something that's like Cava Reserva or something like that, right? It didn't really work out. But what they ended up doing is they got a whole new designation called Corpinac. And a very, very small, like less than 10, producers got together and they're like, we're going to relabel our wines as Corpenat because we want people to understand that we went through a little bit of a stricter growing process, a little bit of a stricter, yield growing process, and then winemaking process on top of that. And we want to be able to designate ourselves above just the Cava Dio. And they really wanted to be able to separate themselves for purposes of distinction and being able to say our wines are extra special for this reason. So yeah. So the first and foremost, you'll notice that the bottle says Corpenat, right? It's not Cava, it is Corpenat. So there's a distinction there. So this is a family-owned project, currently under the helm of Joseph and Marcel, who inherited the property from their father, Marcelino. They have roots that go all the way back to the 18th century. I'm not going to get into it, but you should know that the family itself has been doing this for forever. It wasn't until recently that they left the Cava Dio and moved into the Corpenat designation, but that was a big thing for them. This wine is made in the traditional method, meaning that they take the still wine and then the second fermentation occurs in the bottle. They do riddling of the bottles and make sure that all the yeast goes to the neck, and then they disgorge it. Another notable thing about this wine is you guys will notice that the label says Brut Nature. Brut Nature simply means that there was no dosage added, so no sugar added to the wine at the end for the final sugar level. So the sugar level that is in the wine at the ending point is what it is. Like, it's what the grapes made, that's all you get, and that's what's remaining. So they didn't add dosage to increase the level, to increase the sweetness. So it's crisp, it's dry, especially compared to the first one. A lot of you guys said that you liked both of them for different reasons, and I love that. For those of you who like the second one more, you probably don't like sweet wines. You probably like them much more dry and much more crisp. And that's okay. They both have a place, right? The Terra Madi probably has a little bit more dosage, and we know it does because the second one has none. So for that reason, it's going to be a much more crisp, much more dry. In terms of tasting notes, if you guys haven't already tasted the second one, you're fucking up. Get your shit together. Start drinking. This is a very floral wine to me. It has like a lot of like white flower, like jasmines. There's a little bit of citrus, like lemon zest, green apple. Tori, I'm curious how well the second wine paired with your Al Pastor tacos with the pineapples and stuff in it, because I feel like this is dry enough to be able to complement something that was a little bit sweeter on that front. For those of you guys, okay, the first one was an easy summer drinker, and the Spanish wine was a poolside bougie. And I wish we had cheesecake to match it. Tori, I'm going to tell you right now, cheesecake was not the right call for that one. For desserts, you want to have something that's sweeter than the dessert itself, generally speaking. Or occasionally you can get away with something dry, but I don't know that would be great with sparkling. I think that it would just make it even more flat and less attractive. And I say that from experience. I'm not trying to like knock on it or anything. I'm just saying that, like, your boy has tried a lot of different things. And I don't know that would necessarily pair greatly. But that being said, I mean, try it and let me know. Go get some cheesecake and holler at your boy. Let me know. So that's kind of the second one. What do you guys think of the second one? James, Shelby, where the hell are you? You've gone radio silent on me. I don't like it. Ralph, you've gone radio silent on me. Drew, I wish you were able to stop by earlier because I would have loved for you to have tried this second wine. Because I think you would have really enjoyed it, even though it's not from your portfolio.
Come on, man.
I know how you are. You're really good about that. You're really good about like just exploring and trying shit. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I love about buying wine from you is that like you're just into trying dope shit. Like you don't really care. You just want to try good wine.
Well, it's something that I'm very, very lucky that I get to do that, because there was one time where I worked for a company that I went to a tasting event and I posted a picture from it, and I got a ton of shit for it and like in trouble. It was crazy. And I just was like, this is not what this business is about. This business is about trying new things and being exposed to different stuff, because it's like that's only going to make you better at what you do,
Right.
and it's going to improve your palate. You're going to give you reference points. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I work with is things that people have never had before. So if you don't try a bunch of other things, like you'll have no comparison points. It's like, well, how am I supposed to bridge the gap for people who don't know what this stuff is? And there's like I have a ton of cool stuff in my portfolio. There is no doubt about it. But there is even more outside of my portfolio, because we simply can't sell everything, and everybody has like cool stuff, and and it's given me a good reputation in terms of being someone that people trust when it comes to their opinion. I'm not just a shill for my own stuff, It's
right. And like, I thank you for recognizing that, because I mean, I think that when I was at Classic, it was the same way. They were super cool about understanding that, like, yo, Tesh is a wine guy. He's gonna be out, he's gonna be tasting, and he's gonna try different things. He's gonna post about it, and they were really cool. And I really appreciated that about them, because dude, if you only stay within your portfolio, you're only gonna grow so much, man.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's like, you get to try different stuff, and by the time I finally got home, I went to go see if I had any sparkling at all, and all I had was a bunch of Russian stuff, and I can assure you I did not want to drink that. So I'll probably swing by tomorrow or Friday and pick up that 4-pack from you, because I definitely want to get that one plus the other two that you have. So I'm looking forward to enjoying that. But yeah, it's I think everybody should just try to drink as much as you can. I mean, that's like the coolest thing about booze and spirits, is the only way that you can really get good at them is by drinking them. And I can tell you there's a lot worse ways to spend your time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, like think about it, right? Like, we're educating ourselves, but like, we get to drink along the way, and who fucking doesn't want to do that, right? People always ask me, they're like, I actually met someone random today who was like, she's new to Sacramento, and she was like, how did you get into this? And I was like, well, I mean, when you have the option to turn drinking into a career, it's very like, you take that option, you know what I mean? Like, what other, I mean, for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like, if I can live my life, not necessarily being rich, but being able to enjoy amazing beverages, and being able to take care of my family at the same time, cool. Like, that's what I want to do. Ralph said, I'm here. We got distracted eating flowers. It's exactly how it sounds. I'm curious, bro, because I've been to your house recently when I delivered the wines, and I don't remember seeing edible flowers. So I want to know what kind of flowers you're enjoying. And then Ashley and Johnny said the Spanish bubbly with the Al Pastor was 100. Yay. That's my Ice Cube impression. That was all I got. It's a very high-pitched Ice Cube.
You gotta let him have his thing. You can't take everything from him.
Right.
He was this big brown guy. Now you're this big brown guy. You can't be taking his catchphrases too.
You're right. My bad. Cool. Well, let me know how you guys like the wines. If not, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Drew, thank you for joining. I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for hanging out. Your wife never brought you a glass of wine. I'm really sad for you.
She just texted me right now, and with like excitement. To be fair, she's taking on the little one by herself right now. So who knows what the hell's going on out there? But she's
bedtime, right?
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, she's working at. But no, man, I appreciate the invite, and I think that obviously being friends, we have a really good rapport, and I always love talking with you. And if people are either unlucky or lucky enough to bear witness to it, engage with us, like, it's always fun. Like, this is awesome, man. I just think this is another really great way to connect with people in a unique setting. So, no, thank you. This is great. You're the best.
No, man. I'm only as good as the wines that you guys put in front of me. So, you guys do the brunt work. I'm just I consider myself the liaison. Like, I'm like the in-between person. I just, connect people to good wines. As corny as that sounds, the tagline of bridging the gap between good people and good wine, that's what I do. I don't know why I like the second one better, but it just tastes different, and I really like it. All right, Marianne, I see you. You just like, made Drew die a little bit inside, but
I don't make any of this shit. I don't care. You already bought it. I won.
I'm obsessed with this shit, man.
It's like it's over. Like I've already
done, man. I got the invoice. The wine is gone. There's no returning this shit. It is.
Yeah, I won. It's
this
over.
Is a win-win situation. Tori said, "Thank you, fun time, Tori. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining in on a monthly basis and hanging out. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. You got some wine. Drew got some wine. All right. Heather said, thank you for these new additions. I really enjoyed both. The Castellroig was lovely. Awesome, my friend. I miss you. Let's hang out soon. I get my second vaccination on Friday. So, let's hang out next week sometime, Heather. I fucking miss you. You're good people, and I need your energy in my life, and hopefully vice versa. Ralph said, Nora says we have edible flowers called nasturtiums. We all know what nasturtiums are. Come on, man. I feel like most people, Drew, you know what nasturtiums are, right?
Yeah, totally. You should eat it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They're totally edible. See, Ralph, everyone knows what nasturtiums are. Yeah. He also said, but I'm thinking she was wrong because I'm tripping balls. Don't trip balls.
Oh my God.
Don't trip balls.
Okay.
Drink some more.
I don't want to steal your thunder here, but I'm like drinking this weird wine now, and this is totally my wheelhouse to just like grab something random and then
give us the plug. What is it?
It's from Slovenia, and it's a Civi Pinot. Hold on, I'm trying to think what camera is hitting what. So there's the camera for Facebook, YouTube, and then here's the camera for Instagram. So you guys can both see it.
Okay, cool.
This is weird. You guys should buy it. I don't know where I don't remember where I got it.
Show us your glass. You said Pinot?
It's so Civi Pinot. Yeah, and then man, usually I can tell this might be from Good Bottle. I don't know. It's got to be. I don't know where I got this. This is how.
No, that's okay. That's good. That's good.
And I like it. I'm like, shit. Where did I get this?
I actually get a lot of comments about that. People are like, people are like, oh, you wear the Good Bottle shirt, and isn't that kind of like your competition? I'm like, not really, man. Like, Good Bottle's doing their own thing. Also, they're in downtown Sac, like right next to the Capitol, and they're my friends, man. And they have liquor. They have like an actual shop, like.
Well, and they're not offering anybody to be their som, right?
Right, yeah. It's a whole different shtick, man. It really is. Like I bring you guys your wine. You know what I mean? It's a whole different category of things. So when people are like, "Oh, you rock their shirt," I'm like, "Well, I love them. They're my friends." You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though Chris tries to like fucking hate on me and everything that I do, it's okay. I still love him.
It's because he's a weak person. So don't.
He's gonna watch this later and be like, "Fuck you guys, man."
No, he's not. He's not gonna put the time in.
Definitely not gonna watch this. He does not.
Unless somebody says, Nora asked if I carry Ancho Reyes. I don't, but I do have a bitter that's a Serrano pepper, and you add like a little, like you add just a couple drops to anything, and it's just like instant heat. But the Ancho Reyes is delicious.
The Ancho Reyes is fucking fire. She poured me some the other day. That shit was fucking incredible.
Have you tried I'm trying to think if because there's the green one, which is the Ancho Reyes, and then there's a red one.
I didn't try the green one.
Okay, they're the green and those are super super fun. But no, I wish I sold it because it is delicious and it does crush.
I need to start. I've got so many ideas on like how I want to move forward as a business, guys. I really just need to like make a decision and pull a trigger on something. But I definitely think that like a part of what I do moving forward would be inclusive of hard alcohol, because I'm an alcoholic and I want to drink hard alcohol, and I want to connect you guys to those hard.
Can you sell like sochu and stuff like that?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah,
That's weird,
wine and
man.
sake. Yeah. Diana, what are we talking about now? We were talking about Ancho Reyes liqueur. And
We're all
then
over the
that,
place.
yeah,
Like
this is
Slovenian wine, Antares. This is friendship, everybody.
this
This is
is
what
the
we're doing.
most realistic what it's like to hang out with me and Drew. You know what I mean? The conversation just kind of goes fucking everywhere. Yeah, no, it's how about show? Nora's asking how about Sotol?
Oh,
I'm sure you have
Nora,
some Sotol, right?
I have Sotoleros, and it is used to be called Colande. And a lot of the producers moved to Sotoleros. I love Sotol. Sotol is like I Sotol is thing is like when you start to think that you understand Mexican spirits, someone's like, "Here's some Sotol," and it breaks your brain. Like it's
Like,
insane. It totally
right,
is. I mean, it's this
100%.
rad little desert plant that looks like an agave, gets cooked like an agave, but is not an agave at all. And it's so good. Like, and there's a pretty steep drop off between like the really good stuff and the stuff that's like horrible. But there's some really really fun stuff out there, and it's gaining popularity. Like you're seeing it more and more, and it's like really really badass. I love Satol, and it's because it's so expressive. I mean, when you talk about like wines, and I actually parallel a lot of agave spirits with wines because it's what a lot of people understand. Because like Tesh, you know that terroir is such a huge driver of
Huge in
everything
the
that
world of
happens with
wine.
like
Yeah.
within like the flavor profile of wine and stuff like that. And we've talked about that today with like the Mexican expression as well as the Spanish one, and it's the exact same thing in agave too. Which is weird because agave will go through the process, or at least with the sotol or mezcal or tequila, is that it does get distilled. So you're changing the composition, the chemical composition. So it's almost like terroir shouldn't play a factor, but it still does because I'm telling you, the ones that I've had from the same producers from different regions,
And wildly
they
different.
taste completely different. And
They really do.
so yeah, so Diana just asked like, what would you compare Sotol with? And I mean, I know how this sounds, but there's really nothing out there like it. It's so unique. And I've given a note before where because I think a lot of people here are in the Sacramento region, right? So we're all very familiar with how freaking hot it gets here. There's a toll that I've had where it feels like you're walking down a trail in the middle of July and there's a gust of wind that kicks dirt into your mouth. That's what Sotol tastes like, but in a good way. So it's
That's a good
so weird.
comparison. I actually really like that descriptor.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
a great way
always
to put it.
different. Yeah, it's really super different, and it's hard to put it into one kind of flavor profile because they can come from Michoacan, they can also come from Durango, and so they're very very different regions. And but overall they're super fun. I mean, and again, it's a great thing to expose your palate to because it is so different, and it's just going to make you appreciate the things that you like even more because now you're going to have more of a she likes the way dirt tastes. You're gonna love Sotol. She thinks of the Sauv Blanc of mezcal. That's a good one too. Yeah, I mean, again, it's yeah. I mean, vegetal. I mean, I've had some that. I mean, I'm hijacking your thing right now. They got me talking about my passion. I gotta.
That's good. You're good.
I'm gonna
Just run with
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back to my Slovenian wine. So.
No, it's good, man. I like it, dude. And I do like that comparison, the Sal Blanca Mezcal, grassy, light, delish. Marianne said, I think the second one smells like brown sugar. I don't know if you're just associating that with me, but thank you. That could be the kids. She said that could be the kids' churro fingerprints on my wine glass. Not that I let them try my wine or anything. You know what? If you're not letting your kids try your wine, you're not parenting at full capacity.
Agreed.
That's one.
You want your kid to grow up with a shitty palate? Come on, step your game up.
Right, come on, man. So it's funny, right? So a lot of you guys, everybody here knows my kids, and everybody here knows that Eliza is incredibly social. Both of my children are. Ev is now coming out of his bubble, and he wants to see people. He wants to be a part of them. It takes him a minute to warm up, but he's definitely coming out of his bubble and like, hey, hi, I'm brother, and he wants to like introduce himself and all that fun stuff. But Eliza has always been it's no secret. Like every night for dinner, I usually have a glass of wine, minimum. Um, and so, Eliza will be like, "Can I try it?" For a long time, she was like that. Until recently, she hasn't really been on that train. She's been kind of like, I don't want to try it. And like now, I'm kind of like, just try a little bit, And she's like, "Okay, Dad. Okay." So she'll try it. And her favorite
I
thing
love how
right
you're
now.
peer pressuring your child to drink.
I really
Can we
am,
just
dude.
can we like just summarize that? Like I have a picture of my daughter like viciously grabbing a wine glass out of my hand to drink it, and you're just kind of like,
I'm like, "Drink it, motherfucker."
yeah. Would you want to be a dork? Do you? Do you want to be a dork growing up? Like you're bullying your child into drinking.
Don't be a fucking nerd, Eliza. Come on, man.
It's so terrible.
It really is. No, man. I was just like, "Hey, you try a sip. You like trying them. I want you to just know what it tastes like." So she tried one 2 nights ago, and she hit me with a blah, blah.
Oh
I'm
no.
good, Dad. And I was like, "Oh man, damn." All right. Diana said, "Thanks, Nora. I like the taste of grass too. The way fresh cut grass smells. Love Ev. You're just trying to get Eliza sleepy." You've met Eliza. This is not a secret. I mean, I'm not. Anything that I can get to help me get my children into their beds and calm down would be amazing. So the thing is that like when you guys come, the few of you guys who come to like pick up wines after you place your orders online, that was a legal discretion. You see what I did there? When you guys, for the few of you guys who come to actually pick up your wines, the thing is, my kids, they're incredibly social creatures. They're very much me in that sense, and so they feed off of that energy and they need it. So I try not to get mad, but a couple of times where like I've been like, "You guys need to stay inside because they're being too psychos. I don't want you. I don't want you out here." And that's it. Dad, I don't think your wine will pair well with my scotch. I'll try it later. It's funny because it's true, Ralph. Oh, man. All right. Does anybody have any other questions about either of the wines?
Or mezcal, I guess.
What'd you say?
Or mezcal.
Or mezcal, or scotch, or anything.
Sotols.
Or Sotol. We're here to answer questions about our beverages.
I do a lot of private tastings and stuff like that, and I do this new thing where at the end of it, I ask people, I'm like, "Are there any questions that you have that you've always been too embarrassed to ask?" And it can be about anything.
Oh, that's
right?
a great way to put it. Yeah,
booze related, not just in general. Booze related. And one of my favorite ones was this girl asked, she's like, I saw these sticks that you can put into your wine, that if you put them in there and you can drink as much wine as you want, you won't get a hangover. And I was like, that is not real. I don't know where you found these.
Fucking thing I've ever heard.
Oh, you know what she saw it on? Fucking TikTok. So that's what it was. She's like, I saw it on TikTok, and I was like, that should be your number one indicator that it's not real, or that it would work, for that matter.
No, that's fucking awful, and it's awful that somebody out there is trying to like push that shit, and
Right, but it's a great question to ask. Because I know that you do the private events as well, and it just ends up opening up like a completely different realm of the conversation, which is super fun. And I mean, again, because if you got to think, like, by the time that you get to the end of your tasting, for the most part, like if you're tasting along with them, or like someone's had 2 bottles of wine, or 5 ounces of mezcal or tequila or whatever, like everybody's more loose, and then now they're kind of ready to talk and loosen up a little bit. So it leads to a lot of good times. So
yeah,
I would say throw that into your repertoire for next time.
For sure. All right, guys, it looks like we don't have any more questions. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, where we will be drinking the Crone Brut Rosé. I've been drinking for a while now. We will be drinking the Crone Brut Rosé, and we will also be enjoying the Deviation Road. Tesh at a private event. magical.
Agreed.
That's kind of what it's like. It is. It really is. Man.
That's when my wife fell in love with Tesh. We went to one of his private events, and now like he's one of my get out of jail free people. Like if I'm like, oh, I was hanging out with Tesh. She's like, okay, that's fine. So,
you know what's funny, Drew? You're not the only one, man. You're not the only one, dude. I got a lot of boys who are in the same boat. Chris Sinclair being one of them. She'll be like, "Oh, you're hanging out with Tesh. All right, I'll see you whenever you get home." All right.
I used to be one of Chris's until he did it too many times, and now I no longer count.
Oh, now I'm out. You took advantage, man. You can't take advantage.
Jen was like, I know Drew's tricks. He rambles on, and as everyone can see tonight, who has stuck with us through all this rambling.
I like it though, man. It's good because it feels like much more of a natural conversation, and you know that's. I'd rather that like you guys get to experience what it's like to like hang out with somebody who's really into like alcohol, all kinds of alcohol. It sounds really messed up when I say it that way, but you know, truly, right? Like it's not like you're just restricted to whiskey, like you know, and mezcal. You know a lot about everything, and so yeah, you know, I appreciate the energy that you bring to these talks. You're hanging out with Tesh, don't drink too much, says Marianne. All David has to do is bring Hawaiian home. No. All right, guys. 2 weeks, Tesh Talk on the 26th. We won't have Jordan that night unless some kind of miracle happens. So I'll kind of be driving all this shit. It won't be as good, don't worry. We're already quite aware of that. But I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And if you guys have any questions along the way, also the links, if you liked the either of these wines, if you like the Terra Madi or if you like the Castellroig, the links are in the chat. Click on it, order more. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys thought, and if you guys want to order more, there's one link, boom, and then if you scroll back a little bit, you'll see the links for the other ones. Until next time, Drew, thanks again. And we'll see you guys all in 2 weeks. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have fun. Drink all your wine.
Cheers.
Buy more.
Yeah, don't use those champagne stoppers. Come on. Make it last forever.
She said that she hate me, I hate me too. I can always tell when you're lying, girl, you're see-through. All these miles away, yeah, I just wanna see you. Baby, give me good face, she hit me like seafood. Remember when I saw you, hi, it's nice to meet you. Know my old girl salty, she just wanna be you. I'm a dog, no Maltese, I don't wanna leave you. Once you're right here, I just don't wanna mistreat you.